physical existence, you are in the process of sorting through the contrast of unwanted and wanted all day long. Now, in this particular dimension, what you have is time and space, and therefore movement. Now, in the universe where movement is a reality, you naturally go away from the unwanted and in the direction of what is wanted. The way that this time-space reality has been designed is so that you can allow the unwanted to crystallize and define what is wanted, so that when you are moving in the direction of what is wanted with your thoughts and your words and your actions, then you create universal expansion through your own personal expansion. But some people do not use the contrast of unwanted and wanted in this way so as to serve their personal expansion. Instead, their life becomes entirely controlled by what is unwanted. They live their whole life trying to avoid what they don't want. Pushing against the unwanted or trying to avoid the unwanted is a very, very different thing than going in the direction of what is wanted. To comprehend this, I want you to imagine a compass. So imagine I'm holding a compass in front of you. This is north, this is south, right? Let's imagine that south represents the unwanted and due north represents what it is that you want, right? Now, obviously, if you understand what south is, it's pretty easy to then define what north is and go in that direction instead. However, most people aren't actually doing this. What most people are doing is just trying to avoid south. Now, if you avoid south, you don't necessarily go north, do you? You can go east and you can go west. Neither are in the direction of what you actually want. Another thing that people do is to continue headed south, hoping that one day it's going to magically turn into north. And another thing other people do is that they continue to head south, but screaming at south for being so wrong for being south. In essence, people spend their whole life either fighting south or trying to avoid south, right, instead of going north. Another way of saying this is that a lot of people spend their entire life fighting or avoiding what they don't want, instead of going in the direction of what they do. I want you to look at your life and I want you to look at your relationships and I want you to ask yourself this question. Am I doing the things that I am doing to avoid a consequence? Or am I doing the things that I'm doing because I want to? For example, am I doing the dishes because I want a clean house, or am I doing the dishes to avoid getting in trouble for not doing them? Am I saving money in my account because I want to feel financially free, or because I want to avoid being cashless in a calamity? Am I saying yes because I want to help that person, or because I want to avoid them turning against me if I say no? Am I doing this job because I want to be doing this job, or am I doing this job to avoid the feeling of financial risk or insecurity? Am I staying in this relationship because I want to be with this person, or am I staying in this relationship because of how scary life might be without them? Am I not telling someone the truth about how I feel because doing so really doesn't serve me or my desires? Or am I not telling someone the truth about how I feel because I want to avoid the feeling of being rejected, invalidated, or ignored? Am I exercising to have the body and physical feeling I want, or am I exercising to not be fat? Do I spend time with my kids because I want to be around them, or because I want to avoid the feeling of guilt and the potential that one day they'll grow up to hate me? Keep in mind that one person might do something to avoid a consequence, where another person might do that exact same thing, but because they want to. And also remember that on one day we might do something because we want to, and on another day we might do that exact same thing because we want to avoid a consequence. For example, today I might rub my wife's feet because I really want to. Tomorrow I might rub my wife's feet because I'm afraid that if I don't, she's going to start nagging the crap out of me about how unattentive I am to her. You may look at this list that I've just given you and say, yeah, but that seems like it's two sides of the same coin. Really, it's not. It's two different sides of a compass. Why? Because going in either direction takes you in drastically different directions. And that's the point that you have to really understand about all of this. If you're doing something to avoid consequences versus doing something because you want to, you will be doing very different things. To give you an example, let's say that somebody doesn't want to feel poor. They might get a job they hate simply because it provides financial security, or start hiding money under the mattresses, or start buying clothes that makes them feel rich even though they can't afford it, etc. On the other hand, if this person realized that they wanted to feel financially free, they might start to educate themselves on economics and finance and investing. They might decide to do shadow work relative to the experiences and beliefs that are keeping them poor. They might find an outfit at an affordable price which allows them to feel opulent, but without the purchase being a bad financial decision and therefore taking them further away from their desire. For another example, let's imagine that a person realizes that their relationship doesn't feel good. It's not exactly what they want, but they are so afraid of leaving the relationship. Why? Because they don't want that insecurity. They don't want to feel alone. Now, this person who's in this pure avoidance of the unwanted mode, instead of going in the direction of what I want mode, might do things like start having extramarital affairs. They might go into denial or start showing themselves all the proof that they should absolutely stay. They might choose to become more and more increasingly codependent in their current relationship. On the other hand, if they realize that what they're really wanting is a different kind of relationship, they might do something like become honest with their partner. They may do something like tell their partner they want marriage counseling, and if their partner refuses, leave. They might start to strengthen their sense of security outside the relationship. They might find ways to feel less alone. They also might start to act in a more authentic way, so as to increase the odds that whatever relationship they find outside of this one is something that's going to be actually compatible to them. Sometimes if we really want something, we'll be sure to act in ways that prevents the unwanted, but when we're doing this in the attitude of doing something because we really want to, it's not going to feel the same in our body as it does when we're doing something purely to avoid consequences. Instead, it's going to feel like that preventative measure that we just took is perfectly in alignment with getting us more of what we want. It's going to feel in your body not like resistance and not like stuckness, but more like that expanded, empowered sensation of bringing about what you want and ensuring that you're secure in the way of going towards what you want. Because a preventative measure will bring us closer to what we want, we actually feel as if we're choosing with our free will to do that thing, which is not the case when all we're doing is avoiding a consequence. Let me explain. When we do things simply to avoid the unwanted, we will feel controlled or forced into taking actions to prevent or avoid. Subconsciously, self-preservation will become our top need and priority, and all of our other desires will be thrown on the back burner and deprioritized. We will then begin to feel really, really resentful of whatever or whoever is making us feel like we must self-preserve to the detriment of all of our other desires. We will see those people in situations like the bad guy and feel controlled by them, but really we're being controlled by our own unexamined priorities and fears. Become clear about what you don't want. What is that consequence you are trying to avoid or fight? Knowing that, what does that indicate that you powerfully want instead? If you pivoted towards those things, what could you think and say and decide and do that would bring you in the direction of what you are wanting instead? For example, I want you to imagine that you're looking around the earth and you notice that your unwanted is that, from your perspective, the earth is being destroyed by humans. You don't want that. So what you're wanting is a healthy earth. What you're wanting is an earth that is in harmony with humanity, or shall I reverse that? You want humanity to be in harmony with earth. So if you did a pivot in that particular circumstance, so you know what south is and so you know what north is, what steps can you take to go in the direction of north? You might do things like make solar panels so that that's your source of energy in your home. You might do things like increase your recycling projects inside of your house. You might do something like decide to take public transportation or ride your bicycle. You might decide to share information about the environment on your social media accounts. You might, every time you find a really cool environmental product, decide to share that product with the people in your life, or even buy those products for them. When you're facing in the direction of what you want, when you are thinking and saying and deciding and doing things that bring you in the direction of what you are wanting, you will not feel that sensation of resistance or stuckness in your body. You will not feel like you're running away from anything or pushing against anything. Instead, you will feel that expansive, empowering feeling of bringing about what you want and putting your energy into what is right for you. There is no way to feel happy or fulfilled or as if you're on the right path of your purpose in this life if you are living your life simply to avoid what you don't want or to push against those things that you don't want. I mean no way whatsoever to be happy there. It is not the life that you came here for. Live your life for what you do want. This means let your awareness of south, what is unwanted, define for you what north is, what is wanted. And then think and say and decide and do things that are in the direction of that due north. Have a good week. If you liked this video, be sure to share it, like it, and also subscribe to my channel so you can see more content like this. But I want to personally thank you for taking the initiative and having the bravery to step into the space of awareness, not only for yourself, but for the benefit of those around you.